In this video, I'm going over my ultralight backpacking sleep system for this summer's hiking trip. What's up guys, Paul here from Pieonthetrail.com. On this channel I talk about ultralight backpacking, through hiking and all things gear related. So if that's something that interests you, then consider hitting that subscribe button right down there. I've mentioned in previous videos that this summer I'm returning to the US for another hiking trip. We're trying to figure out exactly where we're going to be hiking. All the places that we're looking at are pretty exciting and I should be able to share that with you guys in the next few weeks. In conjunction with this video, I've released an article over on my website that goes over exactly how to choose an ultralight backpacking system. It goes into a lot more detail, so if you do want to check that out, the link will be in the description. In my opinion, the most important thing for an ultralight backpacking sleep system is the quilt or the sleeping bag that you choose to take out on the trail. It's also one of the most difficult decisions. I don't want to go into too much detail in this video about quilt versus sleeping bag. In my honest opinion, I think both are great, and I do touch on that subject a lot more in the article on my website. If you've been watching my videos from the past couple of years, you may have an idea of what I've been using on the different trails I've been hiking. Basically, on the Appalachian Trail in 2015, I carried an Enlightened Equipment Revelation 20-degree quilt. For the AT, it was really great. It was extremely light, it kept me warm on the coldest of nights, and it was really nice to be able to open it up and vent it on the hot summer hiking days. Then in 2017 on the CDT, I used that same quilt, but it had lost a lot of its loft due to being washing and absorbing a lot of the oils from my body, so I switched over to a Revelation 10-degree quilt. That was doing pretty well, but by the time we got down to Colorado, it was extremely cold and we were dealing with negative temperatures on a nightly basis. We went for a tour of the Big Agnes facilities and they gave me one of their new prototype bags at the time, which was the Orno UL 0-degree mummy style sleeping bag. The weight for that one was quite a bit higher, it was around 2 pounds, but I was pretty happy to carry it with me and I never had another cold night on trail. It was extremely warm. I do have separate reviews of the Orno and the Revelation on my channel, so you can go back and check those out. But when I came back from the CDT, I was thinking that okay, maybe I want to get back into using sleeping bags over quilts because they are naturally warmer. I like the weight savings of a quilt and the flexibility that it has, where you can zip open the back and open it out fully. It does mean they're more versatile, but in my opinion, they're not quite as warm as a mummy style sleeping bag. A mummy style sleeping bag tends to be a little bit heavier because there's that extra material that's underneath you, and most mummy style bags do include an integrated hood. Because of that, they are a little bit heavier, but in my opinion, they're quite a bit warmer. Of course, manufacturers' temperature ratings vary wildly, but in my opinion, a 20-degree quilt is not going to be quite as warm as a 20-degree sleeping bag. So then on to what I'm actually carrying for this summer's hiking trip. I decided I wanted to go with a mummy style sleeping bag over a quilt just to avoid the drafts and the cold spots that I get when I'm turning around in the middle of the night. I didn't want to carry the Orno 0-degree bag again because I think it's a little bit overkill for most of the hiking that I'm doing. So I did my research and I found a new product from Thermarest which is called the Hyperion 20-degree sleeping bag. It's part of their new ultralight range that they've only fairly recently released. So I picked it up and I've been testing it out over the spring and I've been generally pretty happy with it. It has a very similar weight to my 10-degree quilt, weighing in at 20 ounces, but I do genuinely believe that it will be warmer than a 20-degree quilt. It is a very slim fit, it's definitely a mummy style bag, but on the trips I've taken it so far, it's proved pretty warm down to about 0 degrees Celsius, so that's down to about 30 Fahrenheit. I think with the shelter system and the clothing system I'm carrying on the hike this year, it should be plenty warm enough. After the trip, I'm going to do a real thorough review once I've really put it through the grinder. So then onto the sleeping pad that I'm carrying this summer. When it comes to sleeping pads, there's really two options. You can go with closed cell foam or an inflatable air mattress, and I'm always going to be using an inflatable air mattress. I've messed around with closed cell foam pads. I don't find them comfortable to sleep on and I don't like how bulky they are. On the AT in 2015, I used the Exped UL Sinmat 7. That was a really great sleeping pad. It was a rectangular design, but it was still extremely light. Unfortunately, it gave out at the beginning of the CDT, so I switched over to the Thermarest Neo Air X-Lite, a really common sleeping pad out the trail for good reason. It has an R value of 3.2 and weighs just 12 ounces. It's extremely comfortable to sleep on, it inflates quickly, and it's very durable. So the next two items in my ultralight backpacking sleep system are completely optional. I always choose to carry an air pillow with me out on the trail. This is one by Exped, it weighs just 2.7 ounces. There are now lighter models available, but this is the one I've got and it's still going strong, so it's what I'll be using in this summer's hiking trip. It's absolutely not necessary, but for me it helps me get a really good night's sleep out on the trail, and I think it's worth carrying the extra weight. So then the fourth and final element of my sleep system is a silk sleeping bag liner. I carry it for a couple of different reasons, but the main one is to just add a little bit of extra warmth to my sleep system. I'm always pushing the temperature limits on sleeping bags and quilts to try and get the most warmth for weight ratio, but this adds a few extra degrees of warmth, and it also helps protect the sleeping bag or quilt from any grime, sweat and dirt that builds up from hiking. I really like this one. It's made by Sea to Summit and it has elastic stretch material on the sides, which is nice when you're shifting around in your sleeping bag. It weighs 5.8 ounces, so it does have some weight to it, but in my opinion it's worth carrying. If you're interested in picking up any of the gear that I've been talking about in this video, I'm going to leave links in the description below. If you do purchase anything through those links, you help support this channel and it doesn't cost you anything extra. So my sleep system's weighing in at 2.5 pounds or 1.2 kilos. I would of course like to shave a little bit of weight off that, but I'm confident that this system will get me down to 20 Fahrenheit. Be sure to subscribe to the channel because over the next few weeks I'll be releasing more videos covering all the gear I'm using on the summer's hiking trip. You can check out some more videos from me by clicking right here, and as always, thanks for watching.